Everybody, welcome back to Off the Wall. I'm Mike.
And I'm Bogz.
And we have finally received what they're calling the first official trailer for Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, the Amazon Prime series that's coming. That's really, really expensive from what we've been told. Okay, I want to know where that money went then, just from things we've seen. But yeah, so we're going to react to this in real time. Anything you want to say about this going into it, Bogz?
I mean, from the teasers we've seen, I mean, in fact, I'll save it for afterwards. But yeah, let's just get to it, and we'll have a chat.
All right, let's watch this thing.
There was a time when the world was so young. There had not yet been a sunrise. But even then, there was light.
I mean, the landscapes look cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Elves have forests to protect. Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other.
For I must now wander this wandering day.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
Now that doesn't look as good. That doesn't look nearly as good.
Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen
Weird.
what I have seen.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth. It will be the end, not just of our people, but all peoples.
I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all.
The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
I'm underwhelmed.
Me too. I don't feel. I feel like we're supposed to be excited, but I'm not.
Like, I know we're supposed to like be reacting to this trailer, but the whole time I was just kind of like, all right. I don't know. It looks. They're saying they spent like several million per episode, and I'm kind of trying to figure out where the hell it all went, because the CGI looks really rough. The costumes look cheap. The makeup looks half-assed. Not any like big names in this, so I'm just I don't know.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, there is kind of big rumors about this series that they're changing a lot of the characters, Galadriel, things like that. What happens with her? They're adding characters that, you know, Tolkien never used before, that kind of thing. And Lord of the Rings is an absolute treasured story, and you know, you can't, you know, particularly the original kind of trilogy of movies, let's say, you know, that it's arguably the best movie trilogy of all time. It is for some people, right?
Yeah.
And you're messing with perfection here, as in, like, you got to, if you're putting out a series, I mean, the level that it needs to be at, the attention to detail. This is the same thing that Star Wars suffers with, the sequels I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Particularly the sequel trilogy. You know, falling way below that, and adding in things that, you know, the original creator is so far from what he's put out there is worrying. As you know, I absolutely adore Lord of the Rings trilogy, and you know, seeing kind of these, you know, like you said, a lot of some of the CG, you know, some of the characters just look weird, to be honest. I didn't get a glimpse of Sauron or anything like that. I believe Sauron will be in this series as well, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, it's I'm really underwhelmed. Really underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried, to be honest. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if I'm going to watch this, but this didn't get me excited to watch it. I mean, some of the landscapes, obviously, of New Zealand, and I presume it's shot in New Zealand. Of that will always be beautiful. We know that, but this is not it was not a compelling trailer, to be honest.
Like this felt like discount Game of Thrones.
Right, it does.
When you consider that Game of Thrones is like a lot of modern fantasy influenced by Lord of the Rings to begin with.
Sure.
Like without Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, I don't think ever writes, you know, any of those, or Tolkien, George R. R. Martin does not write, you know, Game of Thrones. I don't think if Lord of the Rings doesn't exist. And so it just, yeah, I mean, this was their chance. Again, as a very casual enjoyer of Lord of the Rings and myself, like this was their chance to get me on board, to be like, oh, now I want to check this out. I'm less interested than I was going into it, honestly. Because like you could tell, like, yes, these sweeping drone shots of New Zealand and the mountains and all that, fantastic. Don't change a thing. But when we were looking at like the cities and stuff, it looked like something out of a video game. And I don't mean that as a compliment. I don't know.
No, you're 100% right, Mike, with all that. You know, I'll also say something else, you know, again, this is just me personally, Mike, but as a minority, an ethnic minority, I'm aware that this story, Tolkien story, is not very diverse in terms of, you know, obviously it has, you know, elves and, you know, dwarves or whatever, and
but everybody's
goblins
white.
and trolls, right?
Yeah.
Sure. I would say though that I don't particularly need diversity in this kind of universe or story. Like I don't need to be represented in Lord of the Rings or anything like that. You know, it's a mystical medieval type story, and they're putting a lot of diversity in this, and for me it feels very corporate, like shoehorned in. I'm guessing that this might mean you know, it might mean a lot for some people. Not for me. I don't feel that kind of need for that. I'll be honest with you, and it's for me, it's distracting. I've got to be honest. You know, how you know how yes, how necessary is that? I don't know. It just feels like a corporate political thing that they're doing there, and it's again, it's another concerning thing for me.
And that's something, I mean, that's something that you can obviously speak to. I'm a white guy, so I mean,
No,
it's
not
hard.
at all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm referring specifically, to a corporate thing that they're doing here, in terms of, you know, pleasing the masses or something like that. Which, you know, you know, Tolkien puts the story first, as did the original, you know, Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I don't feel like any kind of story that I see where you know, the showing diversity in your face is, you know, it gets my back up personally, because I feel like that's being put ahead of the story potentially. Anyway, obviously I haven't seen a single second of it, but I'm already getting the vibes. I'm already getting these vibes, so I'm a bit concerned.
Yeah, you use the term corporate too. I mean, honestly, this whole thing feels corporate. Like this whole show feels like just let's try and capitalize on Lord of the Rings fandom, because it's to my knowledge,
take advantage. Yeah, no.
Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, folks. I don't think this is actually based on any pre-written work directly. Like there wasn't, like, I don't know. This is obviously not based on The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings directly. I don't know if this is based on a section of the Silmarillion, or if this is a totally original piece of work. I don't know. And that's maybe what I need to learn more about, because if it's something if it's based on like an element of the Silmarillion, it's like, okay, at least they've got source material to refer to. If this is someone trying to write an original piece of work in the same vein as J.R.R. Tolkien, I have apprehensions about this big time, because we've seen that happen so many times where someone tries to write something like someone else would have written it, and it just ends up coming off as a cheap, a cheap imitation. And that's the vibe I'm getting right now.
For me, you've just literally described the Star Wars sequel. But
yeah,
I don't want to guess, because obviously there'll be people a lot more educated in this universe than me. But I believe it is based on like a brief premise, like a short story or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly. Please, someone let us know in the chats. You guys can educate us, and I'll happily look into it. But yeah, I definitely agree with all that. It feels like a cheap corporate thing to try and take advantage of Lord of the Rings fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, reserve full judgment until I watch it, if I watch it. But based on the marketing so far, based on that alone, I would not be watching this series. However, who knows? I could be tempted by when the first episode comes out.
There's a lot of other stuff that I'm more wanting to watch. This is not anywhere on my top 10 list of things
Right.
that are now. If I start hearing from bigger Lord of the Rings fans that this thing is immaculate, that the trailers just because we've seen plenty of things where the trailers did not do it justice. That is tale as old as time with film and TV. If I start hearing from people that this thing is just amazing and next level, okay, I'll find time to give it a shot. But compared to everything else I'm watching right now or looking forward to be watching, this is not anywhere on my radar, and this trailer didn't do it any favors.
Someone's got to review it, Mike. It might be sold by herself.
That's fine. No, that's fine. Look, if she's gonna make us do the horror stuff, she can do this.
Right.
That's the trade-off we're gonna go with. So
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, please let us know what you think. Correct any mistakes that we've made. I'm sure you're itching to. Down in the comments or on Twitter. All of our Twitter stuff is in the description of this episode. You can like this video and subscribe to our channel. Check out everything else we have coming down the pipeline. And until next time, we'll see you guys back here on Off the Wall. Bye.